Good morning, y'all. This is Shawna, and you are in my kitchen. And what I'm gonna do today is just show you guys how to make some made from scratch biscuits. I'm not some kind of cooking guru or anything like that. I just made them a few times and people liked them, and so I thought, well, why not share how I made them. By the way, this shirt was made by Adrienne Grayson at Live and Create Designs. And I'm sorry if it has flour on it already because I already made a batch. But this shirt is like the most comfortable t-shirt. I love it, and so you guys should check her out as well. Okay, so let's get started on these easy to make homemade biscuits. All right. What you're gonna use, I'm gonna put my glasses on now so I can see. All right, so what you're gonna use is some all-purpose flour, and let's see, you can see. Now you can use self-rising flour, but most of us just have all-purpose flour in our cabinets. You will need some sugar, some salt, and some baking powder. Now, if you have self-rising flour, then you don't need the salt and baking powder. All right, and you will need some grated butter and buttermilk, which it's in the refrigerator. It's in the refrigerator right now because it needs to stay cold. So let me show you what I do. What I normally do. Like I said, I'm no cooking guru, but this is how I do it. Okay. So I like to sift my ingredients because it just makes it fluffier to me. So I'm gonna take a cup, and this is what I do. So might be a little ghetto, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, so I'm gonna take a cup of flour and I'm gonna sift it. And if you have one of those fancy sifters, I have one of those too, but I like this. So I'm gonna use it. So I'm just gonna sift 1 cup of flour. Like that. Okay? Tap that a little bit. I'm gonna toss it over. Like that. And then I'm going to dip another cup, but it's gonna take 2 cups of flour. And I usually just leave it like this. Let me see if you can see it. Like this, because it's about a cup. And you need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So let me see, there's baking powder there. And there's 1 teaspoon. And if you don't have these teaspoon measuring things, you can just use a regular spoon. 2 teaspoons of that. And I don't use a full teaspoon because this is actually real like sea salt. It's real kosher salt, and so I would just ground it up. But about a teaspoon or so of some salt. There you go. Put that back. And then what I do is I just go ahead and put this in the sifter. I sift it again to kind of make sure that it's all incorporated. Okay. And any leftover stuff, I just kind of toss it. All right, and I put it in the sink. And then you will need, and you cannot forget this because I did this one time and I forgot it. If you do not put sugar, your biscuits will taste like cardboard. So you need 2 tablespoons of sugar. There's 1 and 2. That's it. And then I just kind of take that little tablespoon and just kind of mix it around there a little bit. Okay. Then what I would normally do is I would take a cheese grater and I would grate butter, but I already grated the butter because it's a little time consuming. All right, so there we go. Take this grated butter and then we're just gonna put it in our flour. And I'm using a little spatula to dig the rest of it out. And you want to make sure that the ingredients are cold because you don't want the biscuits to kind of start, the ingredients to start interacting or incorporating before they get into the oven. That's what I heard on YouTube. Okay, so I just do what I'm told, so to speak. I take the biscuit cutter. Or if you just have scissors, you can, I mean not scissors, a fork, you can use a fork. But I have this biscuit cutter, or you can get one of these at Walmart. And I just, I don't know if you can see, pull it. I'm just going to, they call it cutting. I'm gonna cut it into the mixture, okay? Cut it into this flour. And I just do it to where it's gonna, just make sure that it has like, you don't see it anymore and it's kind of crumbled. Let's see if I can show you. Okay. My adrenaline is kind of pumping for this video, but you need to show some love. So it's gonna look like that. So I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a well in the center. So you can see the little butter pieces too, so that's gonna make it really good. And I'm gonna add a cup of buttermilk. I'm actually gonna add more than a cup, but I'm gonna add the first cup. And I'm gonna use about a fourth, between a fourth and a third, maybe a third. Just a little bit more, about a cup and a fourth. I think this might be a cup and a third. Cup and a third. Okay. You'll see what you need when you put it in there. But I would just go ahead and say, be safe with a cup and a fourth. And if you need to, just add a little bit more. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up with my spatula. Okay. And you're going to see it start to form a little ball. You see? And I'm trying to get all this flour incorporated. Because I don't want any, I want to, yeah, get that. Okay, so you see it's kind of forming a little ball, kind of like, okay? It's going to be a little sticky, but that's okay. You want to get as much of that flour as you can. And if you need just a little bit, I don't need any more because the flour's in there. So I'm good. But like I said, if you try a cup and a fourth, you may need to add like just a little bit more. But you do that once you finish stirring. Okay, so the next thing you do, I'm telling you, it's so simple, right? This is not hard. So you will just kind of put some flour out on your surface here. Let's see if I can pull this camera down a little bit. Sorry about my hand. Let me use this one. Okay, that's a look. That's good. All right, so we're gonna generously, but we're gonna not generously, just put a little flour on the surface, and we're gonna turn these biscuits, this biscuit dough, over, and that buttermilk smells so good. I got this buttermilk at Walmart. It's $2.75. You don't need this big one, but you know, if you're just gonna make one batch, get a small one. Okay, but nevertheless, I bought it. And I'm gonna turn it. My hands are clean. My oven is preheated to 425, by the way. All right. So I'm gonna take my flour. Excuse me. Now I'm going to dust it right there. I'm just gonna. Now this is not. We're not making rolls. We're not making yeast rolls. So we don't have to sit there and knead it all day. You know, you don't, as a matter of fact, you don't want to do that. I can feel the butter in my hands. And we're doing this so it's not sticky. You can feel you see that sticking to my hand. So that means I just need to add a little flour. Okay. A little bit of the stickiness, and you know, so I'm gonna put that. You see, I'm doing this quick because I want this ingredients to stay cold. Okay, and really biscuits. Okay, so that's really it. That looks good to me. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pound my hand. So you see, you don't do a whole bunch of kneading. I'm gonna pound my hand, pound it like this too. I think it's gonna be about that thick. That's good. Maybe about what, a 1/4 inch thick or so. And what I do, I'm gonna use my yellow cup here. I'm gonna use a cup. Put some flour on the rim of the cup. And That's my biscuit cutter. If you have a biscuit cutter, cool. Okay, and so it should come right on up. I'm gonna put it on my pan. Some people use parchment paper, but I found I don't need it. It doesn't, mine don't burn. So I'm gonna stick this one right next to it. They need to be touching, okay? And and this dough will make about 8 to 9 biscuits. So I'm gonna pat some of that flour off. Put 3 there. I mean, y'all, really, do you really have to go spend that money on on those, you know, products with all that filler in it? No, you don't. But I will tell you, those scratch biscuits, they taste a little different than what you know, get at the restaurants because they don't have all that stuff in them. But when you put some butter and some jelly, oh my God. So do that. I just mix it again. And flour this. Okay. And if it sticks at the bottom, because sometimes it has, just put some flour on it and keep moving. They should, all sides are touching. Okay. So far I have 6 biscuits. You see that? Okay. I'm going to get this one. 7. Okay, well, I guess. Okay. And I watched this video on YouTube where a lady said that they used to call these hoe cakes because they would put the rest of this like on an actual hoe and like cook it over some fire or something. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. But I'm gonna just go ahead and see if I can make a couple more biscuits out of it. It's not as thick as the other ones, but it's all right. And I'm gonna do one more. Now I could put it in like this, but I want it to be uniform, as uniform as possible. Okay, so there they are. They're on the pan. Y'all, that is homemade biscuits. I'm gonna stick them in my oven. That's preheated to 425 for 20 minutes. Now, I'm not doing the magic. I told you I made some earlier, so let me show you what they're gonna look like. I had this warming up, so I know I got the stuff in my hands, but this is what they look like. Okay, it's okay if I touch this one. See the bottom? See, that's not burnt. That's how they look. They rise up. Here's another one. Okay, so they look like that, you guys. And that is how you make homemade biscuits. Come on, try that. Tell me how this works if you try it. All right, bye.